He sat on the park bench alone, shoulders slouched, jacket frayed at the edges, and a backpack that carried everything he now owned. His eyes were fixed on the ground as people walked past, not even sparing him a glance. But what they didn't know was that this man, this seemingly broken figure, once stood at the top. His name was Mark, and just 3 years ago, he was the CEO of one of New York's fastest-growing tech startups. He had the corner office, the $1 million app, and the investors lined up outside his door. People called him a genius, a visionary, someone destined to reshape the digital world. But no one ever talks about what happens when the outside world sees success, while the inside is silently screaming. Mark had a gift for creating things. He launched an app that helped small businesses go online during the pandemic. It went viral. Within 6 months, he was everywhere. Podcasts, news channels, award stages. The world clapped, but deep down, Mark was terrified. He couldn't sleep. He didn't feel proud. He felt like an imposter, like someone who just got lucky and would eventually be exposed. Slowly, the fear crept in. What if they find out I'm not as smart as they think? He'd whisper to himself in the dark. That fear began dictating his choices. He stopped taking risks, turned down bold ideas, played safe. His vision, once clear and fearless, got blurry with doubt. And as the spark dimmed, so did the company's momentum. Then came one bad quarter. Sales dropped. Mark panicked. Investors began pulling out. His team started leaving. Within months, everything spiraled. He sold his apartment to pay off debt, moved into a friend's spare room, and eventually even that was gone. The irony was cruel. He built a platform to help people survive tough times, yet couldn't save himself. Now here he was, in the cold, unnoticed, forgotten. But what happened next changed everything. One rainy night, Mark sat at his usual spot in the park, head down, wet hoodie sticking to his skin. Just as he was about to close his eyes and escape into the numbness, an old man sat beside him. No umbrella, no questions, just a presence. After a long silence, the man looked at him and said, "You're not broken. You're just thinking broken." Mark looked at him, confused. The man continued, "If you want your life to change, you have to stop thinking like a victim." Then, without waiting for a reply, he got up and walked away. No name, no explanation. Just that one sentence. But it hit Mark like a lightning bolt. That night, Mark didn't sleep. He kept hearing those words over and over again. Stop thinking like a victim. He realized something. He had been feeding his mind nothing but fear, regret, and self-pity. He blamed the market, the investors, even the economy, but never once did he take control of his own thinking. So he made a choice. A small one. The next morning, he walked into a public library, not for warmth, but for knowledge. He picked up a book on habits, just one page. That's all he could handle. The next day, he did it again. He began writing down 3 things he was grateful for, even if it was just, "I'm still breathing." Slowly, his mind began to shift. Weeks turned into months. Mark got a part-time job at a local cafe. Not glamorous, but honest. He saved up, enrolled in an online course on digital marketing, applied the lessons, started freelancing. One client turned into 2, 2 into 10. 2 years later, Mark wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. He launched a new startup, this time not with hype, but with heart. A wellness app focused on mental clarity and purpose. It wasn't an overnight success, but it grew steadily. More importantly, Mark grew with it. Not once did he let old thoughts creep in. When fear knocked, he answered with belief. When doubt whispered, he responded with action. You see, most people think their life is shaped by their circumstances. But the truth is, your life is shaped by your thoughts about your circumstances. Mark didn't get a miracle. He didn't win the lottery or meet a billionaire mentor. All he did was change his thinking. And when your thoughts change, your decisions change. And when your decisions change, your entire life takes a new direction. This isn't just a motivational story, it's a mirror. Because maybe you've been sitting on your own metaphorical bench, stuck, lost, overwhelmed, waiting for something or someone to pull you out. But maybe, just maybe, what you really need is to stop thinking like a victim and start thinking like the person you're meant to become. So ask yourself, what kind of thoughts have you been feeding your mind? Fear, regret, what ifs? Or are you feeding it belief, action, and hope? Because whatever you plant grows. And if you want to grow a better life, it starts with planting better thoughts. Mark's story isn't special, it's just real. And it's proof that when you change your thinking, you change your life.